So good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you, Mansi, for that lovely introduction. Just as Mansi said, I'm from Unity Solutions. We've about 10 years of experience, 10 plus in Drupal, developing enterprise solutions. And yeah, I have had the unique opportunity to be part of the Drupal board. I'm currently serving my third year as the board member, community elected representative on the board. I'm just back from DrupalCon Nashville. It was such an energetic conference. It's always very special to meet people you otherwise, friends and people who are actually otherwise just connected with you remotely in person at a conference venue. And DrupalCon is always special for these connects that we make in person. And maybe sometimes we meet many of these friends only from one DrupalCon to another. And I'm so glad that this time, just after the DrupalCon, I can come back here with that energy to be in a DrupalCamp, which is one of the largest in India, and share that energy back here. Of course, being here in India is extremely special to me. I think Rachit already stole my slide, but I have to say big thanks to the organizers. I don't think it's wrong for us to do one more round of applause to all of them, because I know this is many a nights and many an evenings outside of their office hours that they have spent to make this event happen. And yes, thank you for all the participants as well. And a special thanks for inviting me to be the keynote speaker. And a big thanks to IIT Bombay. A round of applause to them, please. I think they've been our partners time and again through many of our Drupal events. And it's not always that we get the pleasure of organizing camps in such a wonderful venue. So a big thank you to them as well. So today's keynote, I'm going to just start with a little story on, or a little bit on, actually not a story, but a little bit on cricket. So just as a warm up, how many of you play cricket here? Hey, raise your hands high up. Yeah, cricket is so much fun. Well, that's a sizable number. Yeah. How many of you follow cricket? I think all of us should raise our hands for this. How many women cricketers here? Any women who play cricket? Awesome. Okay, nice, Mansi. We should connect after this. Yeah. And how many of us watch IPL? So what's special about 1983 and 2011? Anybody? Yes, of course. Yes, we won the World Cup both in 1983 and in 2011. And how many of you recognize this? Is Kapil Dev? Yeah. I still remember I was in 4th standard when this happened, so I don't know if many of you were around at that time at all, but I vividly remember watching this match and cheering Kapil on a black and white screen. It was such an amazing moment when we won the World Cup. And India has not stopped since. We have seized the opportunity, this opportunity in cricket after winning the World Cup, used it to promote, bring in investment, strengthen skills, create awareness, and eventually lead the world of cricket. I think many of these investments have gone into building world-class facilities across the country, like the Sehwag Cricket Academy in Jhajjar, Jaipur Cricket Academy. We have Master Makers in Madurai, just to name a few. And the Indian Premier League, this is again that was founded by the BCCI in 2008. It is one of the most well-attended sports leagues in the world. In fact, I think it's in 2014, it was ranked as the 6th most attended sports leagues in the world, just not cricket. It's all sports leagues. And this further gave an opportunity for many local players to showcase their talent, like, the Hardik Pandey, this Sanju Samson, Jadeja, and Bumrah are so many others who really made it big because of IPL. And besides strengthening talent and investing on skills, a large amount of money also went into marketing, creating brands, and creating icons out of many of these players. And today, Indian cricket is one of the richest sports. So much so that ICCI has to listen to BCCI for many of the decisions that get done. And BCCI has emerged as one of the richest and most powerful sports body today in the world. So from this story of how we seize the opportunity to actually invest and build capacity and strategize and execute a plan to achieve leadership, you can now and just learn from this story, and let's take on and see how we can do the same with Drupal. So yes, we in India, we are uniquely poised because we are a very large community, and we have growing Drupal adoption in India, and Drupal playing like a central role in the enterprise ecosystem with the large amount of digital transformation initiatives in India. I think it is time for us to seize this opportunity, strengthen our skills, promote, create awareness, and lead Drupal. We already contribute close to 2.7 million page views of the Drupal every month. And that's like we're probably the second largest consumer of Drupal. We have close to about 1.8 million registered users on Drupal.org. We have 3,400 plus registered organizations. And I think all we need to do now is to choose to lead. So before I get on to the strategy of how we can achieve this leadership, I just want you all to give a peek into a little bit of my takeaways from the State of Drupal presentation at Nashville. I don't know how many of you were at DrupalCon Nashville. Okay, so I guess all of you can, many of you here, most of you here have not been there. So I think it's important for us to know what is the direction that Dries presented for us there, and that will then help us to better align. So I'm going to just start with a peek into the State of Drupal presentation from Dries's keynote. So he spoke about how Drupal trends and how Drupal has been growing. And in fact, this slide shows how the number of Drupal sites in the last year was close to about 159,000. And this year, same time, it's close to 241,000, which is about a 51% increase in the number of Drupal 8 sites that were built. The other aspect is the number of modules that are stable in Drupal. Around the same time last year, there were close to about 1,028 modules. And this year we have 1,880 contributed modules that are stable, which is again an 81% raise in the number of modules over a year. And not to mention all the other advanced features and functionalities that we have in Drupal core itself. So Drupal's adoption has been increasing. And the biggest focus in Dries's keynote was, how do we grow this Drupal adoption even further? What are the key initiatives? Like always, I don't know if even if you have not been to DrupalCon, I think many of us could just watch those keynote presentations. How many have actually watched the presentation online already? Okay, that's awesome. That's a good number, yeah. So before his presentation, he always does a little bit of survey and understanding the audience and reader. And some of what he proposes as initiatives in the growing of Drupal adoption is a similar strategy where he did some listening and also identified strategies that could easily be rolled out immediately in the next year. The key initiatives include improvements to the technical evaluation process, which is addressed to the CTOs and the CMOs who are going to actually test out to see if Drupal is a good choice for them. Improvements to the content creation interface. This is for our primary users who actually use the system day in and day out for publishing content, the content editors. The third initiative is towards improved site builder experience for the developer community, and the Promote Drupal initiative, which is for the non-technical decision makers. So towards improving the technical evaluation process for the CTOs and CMOs, the key initiatives were how do we do better enable discovery on Drupal.org. There were a lot of challenges in how to find things on Drupal.org, especially for the evaluators and people who are new to Drupal. So how do we make that better? I don't know if you've already seen it, but as a first step, there is a totally new look to Drupal.org, which was launched just before Nashville, which has a much better homepage catering to not just the developer audience, but all the different stakeholders in Drupal. So that's one of the first steps that they've already taken towards making this evaluation process better. Some of the other initiatives are improving the getting started documentation and more modern administrative interfaces. The second initiative, which is improving the content creator experience, you can see there's a lot of work that's going to be invested in media. There's going to be a lot of work in drag and drop. The settings tray module is something that's really brought a real UI to the admin interface. And we're going to have more in workflows, layout, and using JavaScript to modernize the client admin interfaces. So many of these interfaces have weekly meetings on Drupal Slack, and I request all of you to follow these meetings. It's a good chance for you to then understand from the initiative leads and other participants what's actually happening in these initiatives, and then it makes it easier for you to then contribute. Your contribution need not just be limited to code, but it could be to project management, even testing, or any other kind of volunteering that you could do towards these initiatives. The third initiative towards promoting Drupal, one was the technical evaluation process. Second, improving the content creator experience. And third was improving the site builder experience, where some of the initiatives include Composer and Core, config management, and security TLS. And those who haven't already seen the keynote, I urge you to see it so you're better aligned with what's the direction we are taking for this year. And of course, Drupal Association itself has launched the Promote Drupal initiative, which is to help promote Drupal better to the non-technical stakeholders. What this means would be better, stronger marketing content, because unless we have more projects, more people adopting and actually using Drupal, unless we have tools to better sell Drupal and get projects, our software is not going to be used. So this is one of the best initiatives for this year, where Drupal Association is going to anchor and build stronger marketing, branding, demos, resources which the digital agencies and local association can then use to promote Drupal. In the final part of Dries' keynote, he spoke about, actually this was kind of the highlight of the conference because he spoke about values and principles. It's definitely something that we should be very proud of, that we actually as a community have a live document that highlights our values and principles that we as a community live by. The document summarizes 17 years of Drupal, what the Drupal community believes in, and in like 5 key principles. And thank you, Dries, for fostering the community with these values and principles. The principles are prioritize impact. I think that's something that Dries holds, and all of us as a community hold very close to our heart, is that we want to make sure in whatever we do, we create impact. Strive for excellence, better together, treat each other with dignity and respect, and finally, enjoy what we do. If you have already not seen this document, again, just visit this link, drupal.org/principles. You must read it to understand and align with what are our values and principles as a community. In Dries' keynote, he picked 3 of the values and highlighted them with stories and showed some videos to explain those values. And I'm just going to take one clipping from his keynote, and in today's keynote, I'm just focusing on one of those values, which is choose to lead. Just a second, I need help. I need to play that video. You need it full screen? Okay, that's okay, just play is fine. Thank you. I don't want to show you text, but I want to do these things live with so the ones I showed for this keynote, you can see on the screen. First one is choose to lead. And I was reading Twitter and at the beginning of the year, a month ago, I saw this tweet from our podcast. Mark is one of the speakers. Okay. He got involved in this like 2 years ago. He was trying to make a team for himself. It's directly connected. We can just play it again. I don't want to show you text, but I want to bring these lines with a couple of points. Right, so the ones I showed for this keynote, you can see on the screen. First one is choose to lead. And I was reading Twitter and in the beginning of the year, a couple months ago, I saw this tweet from our Funko. And
Mark is one of the contributors to the out-of-the-box solution. He got involved with Drupal about 2 years ago. He was just trying to create a team for himself, and ended up creating teams and contributing them back. And all of a sudden, he finds himself contributing to support with the out-of-the-box solution. You can tell from his tweet that he was really like inspired by that. Right? It's a great example of how somebody could choose to lead. The choose to lead principle, when you read it, you'll see, that's like the fact that leadership is something that's not appointed, not something that's given to you, something that you step into yourself. Take on make it work. So I reached out to Mark, and the whole video of Mark talking about it.
A lot of people say that one of the biggest barriers to adoption of Drupal is the lack of teams that are available. And I look at converting some teams from WordPress into Drupal. So I converted the WordPress 2017 team to Drupal. That's the official WordPress team for teams called Mumbai. I converted an light team, I think it's called, some other teams I was looking at, and I put those all on Drupal.org. And then 2 years ago, within years, I think it was, people have interest in helping out with a new team for Drupal Core. And I thought, yeah, this sounds great. And a team was put together, and I joined it with Larry and Keith J and Christina Junias and some other people. And we started working on what eventually became the out-of-the-box initiative. And at the end of that, I thought, wow, this is just amazing out here. I'm not alone in creating a Drupal team now. We contribute to the community, and I've mentored some people and getting to kickstart and things like that as Drupal teamers. But the official team for a new profile for Drupal Core, I was one of the people that made it happen. And I wasn't the main person, and I didn't do all of the work, and I certainly didn't do even most of the work. But it just felt amazing to be part of that team along with the rest of the people. That was just, yeah, I think that was my contribution highlight for Drupal. The last maybe 2 years, I've really felt I was kind of facing things in terms of I would go to DrupalCamp to London or go to DrupalCon, and I'd hang out with most of the Irish people because I knew them. And I kind of find now I can be walking around the corridors and 25-30% of the people that I know on a first name basis, and if I meet them in the bar later on, we go and we chat, and there's no sense of who are you and where do you come from. If we become friends with a lot of people, a lot of the English folks and a lot of the Dutch folks that I've become very good friends with. It's been a career that I've never had. I'd always loved teaching, and I'd always loved web design. I felt like if I wasn't teaching web design, it would be a good career, but since I hadn't gone to college to study web design, I presumed that computer science, I could never get out as a career. So using Drupal showed me that, hey, hang on, most people do this for you, and you can do the configuration type, so I became a site builder. And then realized I knew enough with site building, hey, I can change some CSS, and that allowed me to do some front-end teaming. And then I realized after that, jQuery isn't too hard, and jQuery is in Drupal core, so I can write interaction scripts. So without doubt, yeah, it's changed my life.
Yeah. That's a great example. And it's a great example of choose to lead, but I think it's also a great example of how it's rewarding. Right? Like he did this, and all of a sudden he built these meaningful relationships that Megan talked about. It was very, very empowering to him. And so Mark actually is a great example also of the second.
So, yeah, can you hear me? No. Yeah. So taking from principle 6 of trees, I want to emphasize that we should choose to lead. So leadership is something where you should realize that we should choose to lead. And again, I just want to bring back what I started with to say that with Drupal adoption growing in India, Drupal playing like a central role in many enterprises in the digital transformation journey, and large digital transformation implementations in India happening. It's time for us to seize this opportunity and choose to lead. And towards leadership, I'm just going to share 3 key mantras today, which we should make sure we imbibe to make sure that this leadership that we want to happen, to help us make this leadership happen. First mantra is that we must give more than we take. We Indians have been taking and using a lot of modules, and we have been solving a lot of problems with Drupal. Both we've been taking it both for our career and as well as our organizations, and we must give back. It's important that we focus on giving more than we take. This would then mean more contributions, both code and non-code, more core contributions, and maybe leadership roles in Drupal's technical frontiers. To do this, we need to first strengthen our skills. So the first mantra towards leadership is to give more than you take. And to give more than you take, I want to just focus on how we need to strengthen our skills. To strengthen our skills, we need to make sure we are constantly acquiring and staying up to date with what's happening in Drupal. And today, this is a lot easier because of all the different tools that we have, social media, the videos, just following news on Twitter, participating in workshops. So how many of you were there for the workshop yesterday that was conducted by IIT Madras? Oh, wonderful. There's also a workshop today, right, for beginners. So big way for us to acquire skills is participating in these workshops. And of course, being participants of this camp, presenting, sharing your knowledge, hearing others' experiences. These are all different ways in which we can make sure we can strengthen, acquire skills constantly and make ourselves better. We need to also demonstrate excellence and individuality, which is again an important aspect to strengthen our skills, that we are constantly striving for excellence. The excellence is something which is like you just need to make yourself 1 inch better every time that you do something, and then you're getting better at it and you're striving to be excellent. The third aspect towards strengthening your skill is to make sure you harness the fact that you're part of this open source community. There's a lot that we can do very differently because we are all in this open source community, and each time we give and share and do things together, we are reinforcing our learnings and it's getting better for us. It's not just that we're giving back, but it's like Dries pointed out, there's a lot of reward that you get by these contributions. So it also helps you like to build an all-round personality, improve your communication skills, your leadership qualities. So I think contributions is actually a big way for you to learn more and strengthen your skills. It's also important while we strengthen our skills by constantly acquiring and contributing, we also advocate and get more people to join our community. And I think that's another wonderful thing that this camp has done, that we not only have Drupal programmers here, but we also have first-time Drupal aspirants who are joining us for the very first time, and we're actually being ambassadors to them to encourage them to join us and be part of this wonderful community. So advocacy is another important aspect, which could not just limit to bringing new members. We could also do mentorship to share skills and ways in which we can contribute. We could run code spins. I think the CAP ambassador program is a very good example of advocacy as well. And towards strengthening our skills, it's also, I'm excited that we have this unique program in today's camp, which is focused on women in Drupal. I think it's important that we bring in diversity, we show encouragement, not just for the women who are already here, but we try and also bring in more and more of us into this wonderful world of Drupal. The second mantra towards leadership is to make sure that we are ready to travel the untraveled path. We are ready to explore. I think this is a very important trait for a leader, and this is better explained, by our former President Abdul Kalam. So I'm just going to play this video for you.
The second one, leader must be able to travel into an unexplored path. Normally, tendency to travel the well laid out path, but the leader he takes the path of untraveled.
So I think it's a very valuable message. I know we can all just keep hearing his voice itself is so inspirational. It's important that as leaders, we don't hesitate to travel that untraveled path, and we are ready to explore and take the steps and learn and move forward. Yeah. The third mantra is to do more. So the first one we spoke of, just quickly recap, give more than you take. The second is make sure you travel the untraveled path and you explore. The third mantra that I just want to place on the table today is to do more. And here, this is not just do more is also for the businesses. We need to make sure we acquire and deliver larger opportunities, larger solutions using Drupal. We work on the largest deals. So build large multi-million user projects for the Indian government, actively build some large digitization projects. So as part of choosing to lead, it's important that we give more than we take. We explore the untraveled path and we do more. Of course, we also should help in promoting and creating awareness, creating more case studies, success stories, sharing them, help in marketing material. We could give our contribution time to the Promote Drupal initiative. We could do financial contributions, run large-scale events, DrupalCons in India, maybe try and make DrupalCon possible again in India and make that like an annual event. So I think promote and create awareness is also as important. And I'm just going to conclude the keynote to say that, as Dries said in his keynote, leadership is not given. We need to step into this role. It's important that we choose to lead. To move India to the leadership role, let's get inspired and choose to lead. The mantras for leadership: give more than we take, don't hesitate, explore, and do more. So please join me and repeat after me. Let's get inspired and choose to lead. Let's get inspired and choose to lead. Give more than we take. Give more than we take. Let's not hesitate, okay? Don't hesitate and explore. And do more. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here. Thanks.
Thank you, Shamala. Thanks a lot for that insightful and inspiring talk. You sure brought the energy from Nashville. Okay, folks, I'm sure you all are energized and just ready to take up what's next. Next we have is a lot of sessions coming up. But before we disperse, I would just like to show the schedule once here.
We have to hunt for that. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Udit.
So for those who don't know, I think there's some advancement that has happened here. And it's advanced system.